Well done, lads. You rode a very good stage today. Hi, guys. Let's start the briefing for this stage. The final ascent will suit the climbers, but it's still open, and some of the punchers could hang on to be in with a chance of victory. You'll have to be there on the final climb if we are to do well. It'll be difficult.
Hello and welcome to all. Despite there being only one major obstacle, today is an important stage for the contenders for final victory. The climb to Orsières-Merlet will require them to dig deep, and it will provide us with some signs as to their respective fitness levels.
Lads, this stage will get harder as it advances. The climb to Orsières-Merlet is hard, but not very long. It should suit climber punches. Go on, have a good day. The others are fed up because you're not making enough effort. They'll no doubt try and drop you.
His pace is not really an asset, and so, instead, he must rely on his capabilities as a ruler puncher to gain the upper hand.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed. You're the biggest threat to the yellow jersey at the front of the race.
In about 15 kilometres, the riders will begin the first climb of the day. But before that, there's the intermediate sprint.
You seem to be running on empty. Lift your foot if you don't want to blow up. When going downhill, the aerodynamic position is useful to increase speed without expending energy.
"30 seconds between the breakaway and the yellow jersey. The front of the race is now starting the ascent to the Col du Festra, an 8-kilometre climb. The first rider over the top of this opening pass will pocket 5 points for the mountains classification.
The front of the race is 2 kilometres from the summit.
After a short descent, the riders will head straight onto the Col de Rioup. It's only 2 kilometres and provides 1 point for the mountains classification.
Collective fall. It may create gaps.
The breakaway is increasing its lead over the yellow jersey, but there's no worry as it contains no big guns for the overall standings.
The front of the race is 2 kilometres from the summit.
The second intermediate sprint of the day will soon be fought out. The first will pocket 20 more points. The breakaway is being reeled in. It will be difficult to withstand the return of the yellow jersey. The next 2 difficulties are ranked as third category. Each will thus earn 2 points and 1 point for the first 2 riders over the summit. The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the yellow jersey. The breakaway is being reeled in. It will be difficult to withstand the return of the yellow jersey. The gap between the favourites group and the front is 30 seconds.
Lads, we're approaching the final climb. It's neither very long nor very steep. Position yourselves as best as you can.
It's a steady climb up to Ancière-Merlet and classified as first category. The winner scores 10 points towards the best climber classification. Acceleration at the front of the peloton. No falling asleep. The yellow jersey has just joined up with the lead group.
He takes the virtual lead of the overall standing.
C'est bien.
He is all smart. He's amongst them. He's amongst them. He's amongst them. He will climb.
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. We retain the polka dot jersey. All is in negative. Hi, guys. Let's start the briefing for this stage. It's a day in the mountains. The finish isn't decided at the top of the climb, but the route is challenging, and it's an important day for the general classification. You'll have to be there on the final climb if we are to do well. It'll be difficult to keep up the pace of the best. I think that we'd better anticipate the attacks of the leaders and attack from far out. Good luck, guys!
Hello, cycling fans everywhere. With two first category summits, today's terrain will be one that favours the qualities of the climbers. However, they mustn't wait to make their move if they hope to carry the day, because the Col d'Ez, climax of the stage, is not as selective as the two previous climbs. New attack behind. The breakaway will soon fight it out for the intermediate sprint. The first will pocket 20 points towards the green jersey.
They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax. The guys with you are upping the tempo. They're going to try to manage the time gap. Given that there's not much happening, lads, I think that I could follow you on the bike. At least now that there's some downhill. The tempo is increasing ahead of the race. The breakaway riders will try and manage the time gap.
The descent will take the riders towards the Col de Turini, the main difficulty of the day. The ascent of the Turini starts now for the front of the race. The gap with the yellow jersey is melting away. The escapees will have difficulties going all the way to the finish. The yellow jersey group is 1 minute from the head of the race. The gap isn't changing much. The Col de Turini is a first category climb. It will therefore earn 10 points in the best climber classification for the first one over the top. Now a long descent will take the riders towards the Col d'Ez, the last pass of the day.
The leader of the general classification does not necessarily have to attack. Depending on his lead, he can simply follow attacks and counter at the very end of the stage.
The breakaway is being reeled in. It will be difficult to withstand the return of the yellow jersey.
I don't know if it's a bluff, but the breakaway looks to be increasing the pace at the front of the race. The first riders have reached the intermediate sprint. It goes uphill for almost 9 kilometers, guys. Watch out for attacks. Even if we're far from the finish, it will be hard to organize a chase.
Acceleration at the front of the peloton. No falling asleep. Still 5 kilometers climbing for the first riders.
Watch out. You'll soon have no more energy to attack.
At 3 kilometres from the finish, there are still several potential stage winners. Less than 2 kilometres from the finish. Final kilometre for the man at the front.
Reduce speed a bit, otherwise you'll hit the wall. You seem to be running on empty. Lift your foot if you don't want to blow up.
He succeeded in he's in spot.
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said. It's the final stage, guys. Today is a tiring route, where the closing kilometres should suit the punchers. We'll...
Hello, cycling fans everywhere. It's a circuit race that's on offer for the riders today. 3 35-kilometre loops for a total of 105 kilometres. It's a short, tightly packed format, which makes for a race with a non-stop tempo.
The stage isn't very difficult, but it's wearing, and given that it's a short stage, there won't be much in the way of respite. You're going to have to ride up front in order to react quickly. Good race, guys. Watch out! You'll soon have no more energy for an attack. A teammate is beginning to lose touch. It doesn't seem to be a good day for him. He's being distanced. The leader has got his team riding early to manage the time gap. They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax.
The riders are on to the only classified climb of the circuit, the Côte de Duranus, almost 4 kilometres at an average of 6%.
Watch out for him. He's the best puncher in the breakaway. You've got 1 minute 30 over the peloton. It turned out to be a good move. You're over-revving. Reduce the tempo or you'll pay the price.
The 2 intermediate sprints of the day will be contested on the finishing line in Les Vins. Each time, the first across the line will score 20 points.
You almost look out of strength. Look after yourself if you want to avoid a blow-up. You must constantly try to shelter from the wind, so as not to consume energy. This is what allows a rider to edge clear at the end of the race.
The race leaders are at the base of the Côte de Duranus. Once again, there will be 2 points and 1 point to be gleaned.
King of the Mountain sprint in 2 kilometers for the breakaway group. The gap is widening. No need to panic, guys. There's nobody dangerous for the overall stand.
The front of the race will soon be finishing the second lap and fighting it out for the second intermediate sprint of the stage. The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton.
The end of the stage is not far off. Stay awake. It will soon start to move in the peloton.
Less than 20 kilometers left for the group at the front. Last time checked with a breakaway, 1 minute. Here we go. The front of the race is about to attack the last climb. A little more than 10 kilometers from the finish.
or consumer feed. King of the Mountain sprint in 2 kilometers for the breakaway group.
Watch out, he's going on the attack. He's trying to get out of the peloton. Watch out.
Attempted breakaway by the yellow jersey. What's he trying to do? He's been dropped. The stage is too much for him.
The final difficulty didn't allow any rider to get away in front. Victory will most probably be decided in a sprint.
Attacked by the yellow jersey. He's no doubt trying to widen the gap on the leaderboard. We've got to react straight away.
He's moving on to the attack. Less than 5 kilometers before the finish.
This stage is he tops the standings, and we can say that he's in sparkling. He's in sparkling.
We really messed up this stage. We were aiming for a stage win, and we didn't even... Hi guys, welcome to this Primavera Classica briefing. It's the first monument of the season. The route isn't very demanding, but it's the longest of the year. You'll have to count each pedal stroke in order to hit the final 30 kilometers as fresh as possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Northern Italy for the first monument of the cycling season, the Primavera Classica. This is a special race, if ever there was one. 300 kilometres, and very often you have to wait for the final 30 kilometres to see the scenario unfold. With the Cipressa and Poggio climbs, the punchers and their teammates often try to turn the screw in order to eliminate the sprinters, whereas the latter hang on desperately in order to take part in the sprint on the Via Roma at the heart of San Remo.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed.
The race leaders have just passed the 100-kilometre mark. Another 200 to go before the line. At the front of the race, it's time to pick up something to eat. Another 20 or so kilometres before the riders are onto roads with a few more slopes. The breakaway is losing ground. The breakaway is losing ground. First significant climb of the day for the men at the front, the Colle del Giove, 6 kilometres on an average slope of 3%. The first riders are onto the coast. Another 50 kilometres of flat road, and then the race will enter its final chapter with the sequence of cappi, short climbs where the screw can be turned to cause problems for the pure sprinters. It's time for a final feed for the front of the race. A little under 40 kilometres before we reach the first capo.
The riders up front still have something left. They're upping the pace to try to hold out till the end.
The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton. The riders are all back together. Everything will be played out in the final kilometres. Here's the foot of the Cipresa, the final capo. It's a climb of almost 6 kilometres, and sometimes riders try their chance from far out, but in recent race history, it's never proven to be decisive for final victory. Only 5 kilometres before the foot of the Poggio. The peloton is onto the Poggio climb. There'll have to be an attack to eliminate the sprinters.
Watch out! You're not going to be able to attack for much longer. A teammate has just been dropped. You can't count on him any longer. You're 2 kilometers from the top. You are 2 kilometers from the top.
Bunched peloton.
Go on! The sprint is yours! Go on! Give it all you've got!
He managed to keep enough energy to cross the finishing line.
Hi, guys. Welcome to this Vlaanderen Classic briefing. As usual, you'll be on narrow roads. You'll climb steep cobblestone hills.
Hello and welcome to all. Welcome to the start of one of the monuments of the cycling season, the Vlaanderen Classic. It's a race for true specialists, with its narrow roads, cobblestone hills and never-ending changes of direction. This Belgian classic only crowns a highly talented rider. The breakaway didn't get far. Watch out for counter moves.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed.
The breakaway is losing its lead. It's going to be difficult for them. The front of the race is approaching the first two cobblestone sectors of the day. A small appetizer before getting down to the serious business in 100 kilometers or so. The riders are coming to the first feed zone. The race will then enter a more intense phase, with the appearance of the first short climbs along the riders' route.
King of the Mountain sprint in 2 kilometers for the breakaway group.
New hill in sight, the Korte Keer, 1,000 metres at 6.4%. No cobblestones on this hill, though. The riders can take advantage of a well-tarmacked road.
The breakaway is upping the tempo at the head of the race. It doesn't intend to be caught up that easily.
Excluding cobblestone hills, the riders are now onto the penultimate cobblestone sector. Haag Hoek, 2,000 metres. It will be immediately followed by the Le Berg, a 950-metre hill with an average slope of 4.2%. The riders will soon be at the Mecca of cycling, the Muur van Gerardsbergen. Now that it sits far from the finish, its role as final arbiter, climbed inside the final kilometres, no longer applies. But it still remains a strategic location that could decide the race. The second feed zone is in sight for the front of the race. Serious business will soon begin with a succession of closely spaced hills.
The riders up front still have something left. They're upping the pace to try to hold out till the end.
Now the Canarieberg stands before the riders. 1 kilometre on an average slope of 6.5%. From the top, the riders will drop down into the town of Kluisbergen for a second ascent to the Oude Kvaremont. The front of the race is starting the second ascent to the Oude Kvaremont. The race is entering its final phase. Each hill can now prove decisive. Now it's the Paterberg, the shortest hill on the route. Only 360 metres, but also the steepest with its average slope of 12.9%. He's trying to get out of the peloton. Watch out.
King of the Mountain sprint in 2 kilometers for the breakaway group.
30 seconds lead for the head of the race. The race will now take to the final cobblestone section on the route. It has the particularity of harbouring a hill that sits in the middle of the sector, the Steenbeek. There are only 4 hills left to climb: the Tyenberg, the Kruisberg, Oude Kvaremont and the Paterberg. It's the turn of the Tyenberg to be climbed by the riders. He's trying to get out of the peloton. Watch out.
Watch out. You'll soon have no more energy for an attack. You're not doing your share of the work, and so the others no longer want to ride. Anyway, we're into the final kilometers. We can forget any ideas of cooperation.
Counter-attack at the front of the peloton.
Oh, yes, come on, guys.
It won't be long before the riders are at the Kruisberg, the longest hill on the route. That will leave the Oude-Quadermont-Paterberg sequence on which to land a killer blow before reaching the finishing line in Oudenaarde. The Kruisberg is 2.5 kilometres long, an average of only 5%, but after 240 kilometres in the saddle, it will surely appear too much for many riders. Only 20 kilometres left for the men in front. Only the Oude-Quadermont and the Paterberg remain for them to sort out a hierarchy and avoid a sprint finish. The final climb of the Oude-Quadermont has begun.
King of the Mountain sprint in 2 kilometres for the breakaway group. You still have 2 kilometres before you reach the summit.
Counter-attack at the front of the peloton. The last hill of the day, the Paterberg. At the top, there will be 13 kilometres before the finishing line is reached. At the top of the Paterberg, nobody's been able to put one over on his opponents. Only 10 kilometres left now. It's flat all the way to the line. He's moving onto the attack. He's turning the screw.
Your opponents are upping the pace to hold off the peloton.
You're really going for it. Come on, fellas, yeah!
Final kilometre for the men at the front. They will fight it out in the sprint.
You're over-revving. Reduce the tempo or you'll pay the price.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want an ovation for the champion who is about to cross.